walk us through perhaps this long coach shaping Dakota.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Currently in a short play here on a 20 SMA setup on the Topstep account. So up to $100 in profit right now, 205. What we're looking for here is I'm looking to see if we lose the initial balance low. I do have a little bit of a test here into the low of day. So currently up 230, 220. I think you guys can see it on the left-hand side there. This is kind of just trickling back and forth. So, you know, realistically, I'm okay with taking profits here, just due to the fact that I've got 5 micro contracts on. So anytime I can put on 5 micro contracts and we can make, you know, $100, $150, $200 is always a good thing. So just kind of quickly, or just kind of cautiously monitoring this position to see if we get one more little crack down here. Again, the entry price was below that 19,637. Or excuse me, 19,590. Okay, that's what we're looking at, 19,590. And we've pushed all the way down to 564. So almost about 40 points to the downside, 35 points. So again, if you are trading the 20 SMA strategy, definitely, you know, we're in the vicinity where you guys should have already taken some profits here. I don't want to give away too much of this. Positions up around $182 on the 5 micro contracts. Again, it's flirted with 200, 205 a couple of times here. We're just gonna take that out. We are going to we're gonna need to close this position out here. So up 250 currently, up 250 currently on this order, 245. See if we're just gonna take the $200 winner there. So again, we're just gonna take the quick $200 winner. It was up 250, hit the wrong button there, hit the cancel order instead of fucking close position. But again, it is what it is. Right now we're locked out on the XFA account. So I am trading a combine account here, a couple of combines with Topstep. You know, it is what it is. We want to keep things going. So what I'm looking at here is the low of day. I'm also looking at this initial balance low. I don't know if you guys can kind of see it on the chart. It's that black box. So that black box is definitely what I'm looking for, to see if we do break it, right? If we do break that black box, then from here, that's the initial balance lows. From there, I would be looking for a test of the low of day at 19,527. So if we can get that, Tesla looks good on the 1 hour. If we clear the 20 SMA, what I would be looking at. So again, if we do hold this initial balance low, then look for the pop, but there's no real legit setup for me until we get back over the 20 SMA. That would be for the long side. Again, it'd be very, very tricky here to try to assume or try to guess that we're going to bounce from this area. Again, I like these type of plays. This is, you know, what we kind of joke around with in the room, a little bit of a big bottom here off of a level of support. What would that level of support be? That initial balance low. Okay, but if it does lose this prior 5-minute low wick, then you have to get out of that trade, because then we would be looking to test the low of day, right? So again, it's a little bit of an aggressive bounce. If one person, you know, likes to take those aggressive bounces, then you can most definitely take those aggressive bounces. For me personally, at this point in the game, I would like to see a little bit more of some type of clarification that the market is actually going to hold these lows and get back over this 20 SMA. A couple of the 20 SMA plays that we have had to the long side have been very, very short-lived. The last one, you know, even though it did pay, 19,624 was the high, went all the way up to prices of 637 and then 642. So, you know, almost, you know, 20 points there, but it was very short-lived, 5-10 minutes. This last 20 SMA play to the downside here lasted 5-10, about 10 minutes as well. So we're getting a very choppy environment. Again, I'm on the December contracts now. That's what I'm going to be charting, is these December contracts. We are having a little bit of a 50-50 split in between the September and the December contracts. I'm noticing a lot more volume starting to roll into the December contracts. Again, those December contracts you know, could definitely be switched over to. Now, again, you know, are you going to make more money, or are you going to see the charts better on the December contracts versus the September contracts? You know, probably not. But if you're noticing a little bit of a, you know, why is the market kind of chopping around? Why is it doing this? Why does it seem like it's lower volume, this, that, and the other? It could be because there's a lot of rollover going on. So again, you know, just start to know the environment. Again, it's also a big week, right? What do we got this week? We've got FOMC, or we've got, you know, all this jazz, rollover, you know, a bunch of this stuff, right? So that's always going to kind of sway the markets. Now, if I look at a bigger time frame here on the 1 hour chart, I'm looking at the 1 hour chart hold the 50-day moving average. Okay, if this loses the 50-day moving average on a 1 hour chart, which is going to be correlating with a price of 19,529, which is down here at low of day, this market can get extremely aggressive to the downside. And that extreme aggression could take us down into prices of around 19,339. So that's what I would definitely be looking at if the market's going to hold from here. Again, this is going to be a great opportunity to get that bounce action going, right? Again, remember, it is Monday, right? It is Monday. If you are green, or you have managed to be green today and you've caught some trades, wrap it up, right? What's the you know, what's the incentive? What's the incentive of trying to trade all day like a maniac, right? And unless you're going to take out, you know, $20,000 today out of the market, if you hit a good trade, I don't really see any real desire or need to kind of press the markets. Again, a lot of traders tend to press the markets when they shouldn't be pressing the markets. Getting a little bit of a bounce here, running into this 20 SMA at 19,596. I'm going to kind of actually add some more things to my chart here. What I do want to see is the 200 as well as the linear regression. So we're going to get this new chart up on the board. Get this new chart up on the board here just so I can see a little bit different areas of confluence points for me. Okay. So below this prior 5-minute wick, we do have room to kind of, you know, go down to 19,545. Anything below 545 could test a low of day. Like I said, below that low of day, we're going to be looking to have a nice little sell-off. If this can push back over the 20 SMA here, we are in the initial balance, which initial balance is just that first hour range of trade. The level that has really been kind of giving us some trouble today, there's a bigger level here. There's a more of a macro level here that I want to kind of go over. The bigger level that's been giving us trouble is yesterday's high, or yesterday's low. So if we go back to Friday's low, that area has been giving us some trouble, 19,398. That level has been giving us a lot of trouble. Again, 398 is going to be on those September contracts. So the price is a little bit different here on the Decembers that I'm looking at. So just kind of cross-reference that. Okay, so if you're looking at the September charts and you're thinking, wow, you know, what is he talking about, you know, 398 when I'm looking at price trading at 19,600? I'm looking at the different contracts. Guys, we're getting a little bit of a 20 SMA setup here to the long side. I am going to we're going to get in this long here. Again, we're going to play 5 micros. This range here is going to be 41 points. Okay, so 41 points. If you're playing 1 micro contract, your max risk is going to be around $80 if you're going to use the entirety of this candle. So if you are playing 5 contracts, you're going to have to take a $400 hit if you're going to use a 41 point stop loss. Now, if you're not going to use a 41 point stop loss, maybe you're using something like 20, dissect the math on your own. But realistically, we're not going to be looking for much here on this play. Again, you know, am I expecting this play to shoot up to the top of the range? No. If I'm able to make a couple $100 on this trade, or even $100 on this trade, I will. Again, if it does decide to keep pulling back here, right, I might have a little bit of a mental stop, you know, at a number that I'm comfortable losing on the day. Okay, so on this particular account, I can't see. Let's see. On this particular account, I think I'm up around $400 or $500. Again, this is just a combine. So on these combines, aka evaluations, I'm going to trade a lot more aggressive, meaning I'm going to take a lot more trades, because at the end of the day, it's pass or fail as fast as I can, so we can get into what really matters, and that's trading funded accounts. So again, your guys are going to see me a little bit different here on stream versus versus the way I've traded in the past, because normally I'll be trading funded accounts. And when I'm trading funded accounts, I'm a lot more specific and picky when it comes to those setups. But with the combines, definitely not as picky. Valuations were not as picky. And the reason why we flipped over to evaluation accounts is because I am personally locked out of my XFAs. So I have a risk setting set in there. This play doesn't look good at all. It looks like shit, actually. I have a risk setting in place that will auto liquidate my account when I get up to a certain profit number. Okay, some days it's 300, some days it's 500, and some days it's $750, depending on how the day's going. Personally, I had it set at $500 today. I was up $389. I just wasn't feeling the market, and I manually, on Topstep X, manually locked myself out. So can't even take another trade there if I wanted to, which is good, and I'm happy with, because at this stage of the game, I just want the days to pass, right? I just want the days to pass. I'm not trying to do anything cute. I'm not trying to, make $1 million. I'm just trying to, collect a few $100s on each one of these accounts and just keep it moving. Jessica, I'm up $38 and done for the day. Used my 3 trades up. I allow for each day. That's great. That's great. We don't really look at the dollar amounts. We look at, taking those legitimate setups, and then we weigh the results after that, right? So regardless if, we're up $1,000, we're up $10. If we took setups that align with our strategies and we practice good risk management, that's it. That's what having a trade plan is all about. We definitely have to respect our trade plan. This trade is trying to come back in our favor here. Again, what's the setup? 20 SMA, right? Closed over the 20 SMA. It's a 41-point range candle, and we're just looking for a little bit of a pop here. So how was everyone's weekend? Everyone enjoy the weekend? We have a good weekend out there. We actually had some people do really well in the group today. Nisha passed 150, I believe 150K evaluation today. So congratulations on that. Husky made $300 or $1,300 on a combine, Topstep combine. We had Burks absolutely go crazy again with the 5 PA accounts. Around $600 to $700 in profits times those 5 accounts. You guys already know Burks already kills it almost every day. 3-putt literally was done 13 minutes off the open. $528 off the open on that initial short that most of us took. So yeah, I mean, the room is doing very, very well. And I'm up a little bit. What is it? $361. I'm not up a lot, but hey, it is what it is. And I start to get a little bit more hesitant. Like, honestly, I can take a payout from 2 of these Topstep XFA accounts. I'm just trying to honestly slowly build a little bit of a bigger balance, to be honest. Normally when I get up to around $3,000, $3,500 on the Topstep XFAs, I'll take half of that and then kind of slowly trade them back. Guys, I've got a dog barking somewhere in my neighbor's backyard somewhere. So if you guys hear that, I deeply apologize. But anyways, I try to get up the balance to around $3,000, $3,500 and then take half of that. But I'm actually trying to get it to around 5,000. I want to get to around 5,000 in that kind of balance, and then take out a couple $2,500 payouts times the 2 accounts. This play is stalling. It's taking a little bit. It's taking a little bit longer than I like typically. Typically, I like these plays to shoot up 10, 15, 20 points fast. The longer it stays like this, where it's not giving me much of a move, for one, I'm human, the more frustrated I get, and 2, the bigger chance that it's going to fail. And the reason why I think that this could fail here is on the 1 hour chart. This is getting its head absolutely slammed in the in the dirt here at the 5-day moving average. So we've got short-term supply that's sitting right here just above where we keep getting our head slammed. 19,625. You know, this market would need to get up 25 points at least before it has any type of room to kind of stretch. Other than that, it's probably going to come back down. And the next short position is going to be through previous hour low. And I'd be looking to short this market below 19,534. Again, I've been scalping in and out on just different key levels on 20 SMA plays. We're just trying to be aggressive here, right? We're trying to be aggressive. This current position's not really doing shit for me. Tom G said it right. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. If this is your first time on the stream, make sure you guys hit the like button because it definitely helps my channel grow. It definitely helps get this out to more traders. And hey, you know, you never know. You might like hanging out here, and then we can have some trade fun each and every single day. Curious to know how you guys are all doing today. How many of you guys are green? How many of you guys are red on the day? Nice, Tony. Not really liking this 20 setup here, guys. If this closes below the 20, I'm just gonna take the hit on it. I'm gonna take the hit on it. I don't like I treat the market and all of my setups like if you're not working for me, right? The setup. I'm talking about the setup, the market. If you're not working for me, what are you doing, right? What am I doing, right? I hate sitting here and I hate like waiting for something to just absolutely confirm because it's like this, right? It's like this. Look at this setup here short at 720. It confirms and it screams down, okay? Okay, there's an argument. Well, that's earlier in the day when volatility is a little bit higher, the ranges are bigger. Okay, fine. Even in this particular long setup, that was about 45 minutes ago. The high price was 19,572, right? 19,572. Or excuse me, 19,624. And then it goes up to 19,637, right? So from 19,624 to 19,637. I mean, we're talking about 13 points, but like immediately, you know, and I'll take those 10-point pops all day. I don't really care, especially when we're trading these evaluation accounts. But when you got something like this, that's just pitter-pattering around and it's getting me in and then it's coming back down. Now it's back below the 20-period moving average and we're just going to cut the trade here in a minute when this candle closes. You know, I don't really like that. You know, I don't really like that, especially when we have such a big level right here on the hourly chart. And if this does start to get weak, you know, if it starts to get weak, you know, market can have some problems here. We're going to close that position. Now we're in a 20 SMA to the short side here. So again, you know, if the market's going to chop us up here, again, one thing we have to be mindful of is that it's lunchtime. So you guys already know how I feel about lunchtime. I hate trading the lunch hour just because the market typically starts to do the opposite of what it was doing in the day. And when we look at a day like today, we've had a little bit of up, had a little bit of down, but ultimately going sideways on this rollover week. You know, what can I really expect? Right? Little of this, little of that. Tomato, tomato. So. Tomato, tomato. So current P&L on this combine today, even after the loss we just took, because we took a winner prior to that, $253. So not much, not much, not much. And again, You know, I'm trying to still mess with layouts and stuff here. I don't really, because I do all my charting on Thinkorswim. There's no real sense in watching the Topstep chart, but I still want to show like the P&L and when I enter the positions. So I'm trying to still mess around with things here, guys. Remember, also, you know, bear with me, guys. I'm not a streamer. You know, I'm just a trader who likes to make occasional trading videos. So far, still holding this 50 SMA here. Again, you know, like, you see why I get frustrated? Like, this is what frustrates me, right? This closes below the 20 SMA and actually, you know, kind of confirms that there's no follow through, right? For me, I think the big short position is if we lose low of day. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the bigger short position for me that's going to feed my appetite is if we lose the low of day. Okay, so I'm not too interested in right now, unless we're at the top of the range. I'm not too interested in short plays that are using the 20 SMA. I'm more interested in the long plays using the 20 SMA because we're coming from the bottom of the range. Make sense? So in this particular situation, if I did not just close the position, I would be essentially flat. But here's the thought process. I can't sit here and say, well, I should still be in it because of XYZ, because if it continued to go down, I was going to lose more, right? I was going to lose more. So, you know, it is what it is. Almost debating here if I should use the 2-minute chart to do a little scalping. We got a 20 SMA play setting up here on a 2-minute chart. Nice, Nathan, nice. Yo, guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Again, I gotta be completely transparent. Okay, I gotta be completely transparent. Give me 1 second. Gotta be completely transparent. So with Topstep, I have 3 XFA accounts. If you guys are not familiar with Topstep and their funded process, XFAs, express funded accounts, just means that like it's their PA account, right? Depending on what prop firm you're at. I'm aggressively trying to get to 5. So I'm going to aggressively trade these combines. So if you guys start to see it should be on the left. If you guys start to see me enter positions and it's a little bit bigger size than I practice and preach, it's because of that reason, right? It's because of that reason. I wouldn't trade that way on a funded account. So again, I just want to keep that involved because I might feel the urge on a setup where I want to go in a couple of mini contracts to take a quick scalp. Again, we're going to try to enter this here on 5 micros again. We're going to see if we can catch maybe $100 on this move. So I'm looking for the little bit of a push up here. Again, obviously I'm going to have resistance at this whole prior structure over here, right? So around 600, around, you know, anywhere between 630 and 640s, there's a lot of resistance here. Again, lunch hour, absolutely hate it. Why are you trading it then? Because I'm trying to build a balance in combines. That's why I'm not trading my funded accounts, you know? So again, just to kind of, I just want to like get all those questions out of the way before people start wondering and asking. What is this question here? When price crosses the 20, I like to see confirmation that it will hold and then engulf, but I have to miss some as a result. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, sometimes you miss them, sometimes you catch them. Sometimes it does this crap, you know, where it doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything. And again, I know why it's not doing anything. I know that, right? I know that. The hourly chart is pinned, okay? The hourly chart is absolutely pinned. It's got overhead supply here. Like, this is not going to have room to stretch until we get over this supply at around 625. So it'd probably be smarter of me to kind of wait until we get a setup over 625 before I start jumping in like a fucking absolute moron. That's what it is. And it's back under the 20. Again, this is a 2-minute chart we're looking at here, guys. Back to the 5. If anything, all in all here, I would definitely say, you know, whatever I'm doing, completely fade the opposite, right? Completely fade the opposite. Because even the 5-minute at 19,611 went up to 19,614, went up 3 points and absolutely shot down. How many points is this? I mean, absolutely shot down 40 points, you know, so absolute shit show worth the price action here. Nathan, I mean, it's a key ingredient. It's a key ingredient. If I could answer that question truthfully, you know, is it the main strategy? It's a key ingredient. That's what I will say. It's a key ingredient. What I like to do is I like to, when the market opens up, I like to see, you know, where's price trading at in correlation with yesterday's high and low. And then I like to see what did we do in the pre-market. And if that is setting up with a 20 SMA, let's say, you know, we're very close to taking out a prior day high and we set up a 20 SMA play off the open, I definitely like that. I also play the 30-minute opening range very aggressively. So I'll take the first 30-minute candle, and if we break out to the long side or to the high side, I will take that for a scalp. Typically it is on a little bit heavier size, but I'm only looking for like 10 points. So if I was to trade 2 or 3 mini contracts on something like that, you know, for every 10 points, it's a $200 winner. So you can definitely pick up, you know, $300, $400, $500 very, very quickly when it does give you that first initial break. What I'm really good at is on my funded accounts is if I do take that trade and I'm up, for example, today, 361, I stop. I'm done. Okay, that was what the market gave me. I can't sit here and say I would love to make that 3,000. You know, I would, but I can't force it, right? So, you know, that's what the market gave me. I've just got to kind of wrap it up and move on to another account and find another setup. And then I'll start looking for these, you know, these 20 SMA setups and stuff. But I use a lot of other moving averages too that kind of correlate with what I'm trying to do. So right now on this chart, you know, I don't really have a whole lot going on this chart, but you know, we're holding this channel level here. We're holding this channel level. I've got a 200 period moving average up top. Okay, so definitely there's a little bit of a gap to fill. There's a little bit of a gap to fill here. If we do want to continue to kind of grind higher and hold this little double bottom, right? We had a little bit of a double bottom floor here, 7:35, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We kind of have this double bottom. Now, this is really not wanting to push up to the high side at all. It's just putting in lower highs, which is not good for my position here. And again, you know, BM is right. FOMC week, contract rollover, it's normal to kind of chop around, right? So I'm not gonna get too upset on a week like this, you know, because I already know that I'm not planning on trading a whole lot of funded activity today, like, or this week. If I can catch one trade, if I can catch 2 trade on a couple of accounts, that's gonna be fine. I'm gonna stop until we get some better price action. But what I will do on weeks like this, or on days like this, is I'll try to aggressively trade these evaluation accounts to kind of pass the time, because again, you know, I am a full-time trader, so I am always going to have the itch to want to trade and to want to take setups. So I figure if I am sitting here at the screens, I might as well try to make something happen, right? Which doesn't look like it's going to happen on this fucking trade. We're going to have to cut this position, which is going to be an absolute shame because as soon as I get out of it, it's going to go the other way because it's at the bottom of the range. $330 is where it's here. I really wish that Topstep would roll over contracts already. Again, because I don't chart on the Topstep X platform, maybe there is a way I can pull up the December contracts already, but I have no idea. Sure, I can find it right here somewhere. Because my prices are a little different. What's going on? Completely screwed myself up. I've completely screwed myself up. I'm trying to change the charts on the Topstep X here. Got like my chart all frozen here. This is starting to come down here, guys. These 20 SMAs have definitely been short, have definitely been working a little bit better than the longs. That last one was 19,574, and that's come all the way down to 560, so 15 points there. What I'm looking at as support here is 19,550. 19,550. I'm going to expect a little bit of a bounce here at 550. Right at the bottom of the range again. So this range has been intact since 7:35 in the morning Pacific Standard. So going on almost 2 hours, we've been at the bottom of this range here. Gosh, what did I do to this Topstep chart? It's completely frozen. I can't. Invalid symbol. What the hell did I do? Figure this out in a minute. Figure this out in a minute. I've got support at this linear regression at 19,550. We're still kind of holding that lower range. Hourly chart is back down to the 50 SMA as well. Hourly chart's back down to that 50 SMA range as well. Back down in support again. Probably not the best spot you want to be entering trades at, right at support. You know, we typically want to see some type of break and retest. Because if we do look at the lows we're putting in, they're all kind of a little bit of a higher low. We would have to break this with some violence. 550s, we'd have to break that with some violence. first crack at that break definitely gets gobbled up a little bit. Definitely getting gobbled up a little bit. That support right here, I could see this starting to bounce. It's not going to work. Got to figure out what's going on with this chart. Expand it or anything. Oh, here we go. Now I got it. Jeez. Now we're good. All right, cool. Now we're good. So now we're battling back a little bit here. Now we got to battle back a little bit here. What are we seeing here, guys? A little bit of a, I guess we could say this whole zone down here. I'm keeping my eye closely on the hourly chart, to be honest. Keeping my eye closely on this hourly chart. If this does start to give way, right? If you guys pull up your hourly chart and put a 50 SMA on your hourly chart, that's the level of support that I'm looking at. That's what worries me about just holding the short right now and why it interests me to go long. But you're going to see the argument of, if we give that up, this fucking market is going to absolutely come down. What are we at? We're down 200 today. I mean, it'll come down another 100 points. So it's a little bit of a tricky spot. A little bit of a tricky spot. You know, what's the range of this candle? 20 points? I mean, I could see putting a long on here and giving myself a 20-point stop, right? Do we want to do that, though? Is the question. It'd be about a $260 risk on 5 micros, or about a $400 risk on a mini contract. You know? Something like that, I would need to make $300 or $400 on it, right? I mean, we can try. Again, you know, it's not the smartest thing to do, but again, got a little bit of this hammer candle here off of support. I mean, up 120 here on a mini contract. Again, I mean, with putting on risk, this is the only fucking problem, right? I would never put this trade on in an actual personal account with live money or a funded account, because it's just too much fucking risk. But on an evaluation, we can put on this amount of risk, and I am looking for, you know, at least $300-400 on this trade. We're up 250, 230 now. I don't know if you guys can see it. It should be somewhere in the fucking left. So we are looking for that just on that quick pop here. I mean, again, I'm looking at the resistance level being 589s, which is at 20 SMA. Again, it's still pinned on the 1 hour chart. So, you know, we're not looking for much, but well, I had a stupid bracket that got triggered. That's a $300 profit on that trade. Now we're back up. So, and that's the only other problem too, guys, with having brackets. So stupid. When I trade evaluations, I typically never put take profit brackets on there, because, you know, I'm trying to stretch out trades as long as I can. And when I trade funded accounts, I have a take profit bracket at $300, and it got triggered. I would have made a lot more than that. Did anyone bounce that with me? Son of a bitch. 19,560, and it went all the way up to 588. Almost a 30-point bounce. It should have been a $600 trade. And that's the thing. I don't want to take the brackets off. On Topstep X, I can go into risk settings, and I can put a dollar amount risk, and I can put a profit, take profit risk. If I take it off, you know what will happen is when I am trading the funded accounts, I'll forget that I took it off, and it won't fail me, and then the position will go from green to red. What a joke. What a joke. So coming back here into the 20 SMA, is this going to confirm the last two longs I took on 20 SMA longs? They did not work. They did not work. The shorts worked. Daily pivot right there as well. Seems to be containing price. Yeah, I mean, yo, what's up, Tony? Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of areas. We've got a lot of areas. Futuristic. Was that you who said it? Yeah. I've got supply on a 1 hour chart right here as well, kind of sitting at 620s. Absolute insane candle here. It would have been a 40-point move from where I got in. Fucking stupid. Stupid. So yeah, I mean, I've got resistance here as well. Price is definitely pinned. It is holding support, right? It's holding macro support. My macro that I'm looking at here is the 1 hour chart. It is holding macro support there. You can kind of see we've been building this floor the past couple of hours. So there's definitely room to push to the upside. And there's definitely room to go short if we lose low of day. Okay, so right now when I'm kind of fiddling in the middle, I've got to be a little bit more meticulous as far as like what I'm actually looking for. I can't really expect that big, I was going to say 40-50 point move, but this candle alone was 40 points. But I can't really look for that 40, 50, 60 point move when I'm trading in between supply and demand, when I'm right in a tight range, right? It's difficult. I'd like to see us get over like 625 if you're looking at December contracts. I'd like to see us get over that to have some real space. And 3 pushes into the low on a 5-minute candle, coiling for a long move. Yeah, I mean, I see that as well. I see that as well. I'd because this is an evaluation, I'd like to just catch a long and kind of sit in it, right? And just let it do all the legwork for me. I really hate scalping in and out on evaluations. I like to just play a little bit heavier size and catch a decent move. I mean, we're going to go for it again here and see if we can catch anything. "30 minutes before this lunch hour is over." 30 minutes before this lunch hour is over, guys. Hourly chart, to me, the hourly chart right now, it looks strong. The hourly chart looks strong. What's going to jerk everything around is the smaller time frames. The smaller time frames is going to go back and forth, right? Especially in lunch. But the hourly chart looks like it's just to sit long until we lose low of day. Okay, so how do you kind of play that, right? Maybe throw on a couple micro contracts, sit in it long unless we lose a low of day, right? You try to be an idiot like myself and play a little bit heavier size here, you're probably going to get jerked around a little bit, which is probably not the best idea. It's probably not the best thing to do, to be honest. And it's coming right back down again. Same crap. Each one of these 20 SMA plays long has failed. The last 2 or 3 of them have been absolute shit shows. I've got to get the hint already, right? I need to take the hint. Absolute shit show. It's just too much size for the chop. It's too much size for the chop. That's all it is. It's not necessarily that it's a bad, well, the setups long are not working, but it's too much size for the chop, you know. It wouldn't be a bad situation if this was a couple of micro contracts. You would be stress free, but because it's bigger size here and it is chopping, it's definitely, we got to close that. So now we're back down again here. I think the better thing for me, honestly, is to wait until we come out of lunch. Because again, it's lower high, lower high, lower high. So this is the second time I think I'm banging my head against the wall going long. Because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen is if this doesn't put in a low of day and it just kind of continues to do the same song and dance, you're going to be looking at this until the close up 100 points. And it's going to be like we had the right entry the whole time. We were just too big size. So gotta stay a little bit more patient. And I'll make a very valid point. If you're trading a funded account, right, or you're trading live capital, and you're going through these, and you're taking this trade and that trade and this trade, and you're just chopping yourself up, you want to know what happens? Emotions start going through the roof. Like I've taken, I think since I started this, I think I've taken 3 trades. I've lost 2 of them 1-1, and I'm red now. Okay, I'm red now on this evaluation. I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. You know why? It's an evaluation. Like it doesn't mean anything. Right? But if it was a funded account and I was doing this to myself, I'll be the first to sit here and raise my hand and say I would be extremely frustrated in trying to double back on my position size and go bigger and get it back. So there's a big difference here in how you're trading personal to funded to evaluations, and you have to identify that, right? Like you have to understand that. Like if someone was to ask me, well, don't you think that if you went long on 20 SMA plays and they both didn't work, that maybe you should go short or go with the trend? Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. So why am I not doing that? Is because for me, looking at this chart, holding the last 3 hours have held this floor. Okay. There's more opportunity to make money on a push to the upside for the short term. The opportunity to make money on the downside is if we lose this floor. And if we lose that floor, I'm definitely going to be a part of that. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, when you're trading in, especially in prop firms, because I would assume that the majority of you guys who watch streams or watch YouTube videos, I would assume the majority, like 80%, 90%, I would assume you guys all trade prop, right? There's two ways to trade prop. Like you trade prop funded and you trade prop evaluations. Now, there's going to be an argument, and there will always be the argument where, well, you shouldn't trade your evaluations any different than you trade your funded accounts. And I have a strong argument against that. If you have a 9-to-5 and you have supplemental income and you just do this trading thing on the side, I agree. You should definitely trade evaluations and combines or whatever it's called, with whatever prop firm you're in. You should definitely trade that the same way you would approach your funded account. I agree. If you do this for a living, or you're trying to be a little bit more aggressive, then taking 2, 3, 4 weeks to pass one evaluation is pointless. You're wasting a lot of time, energy, and wasted trades on something that's completely irrelevant. Okay, we all know that a $50,000 account, you got to hit a $3,000 price target. Okay, so you want to trade it low and slow. It's going to take you 2, 3, 4 weeks to do that. You know, you average $100, $200, even $400 a day. It's going to take you 2 weeks to do that, right? You have to always factor in a loss. You have to always factor in a losing day. So for me personally, we got to get through these things quickly. We got to get through these things quickly. And yes, on the way to getting through them quickly, you're going to lose some. Okay, you're going to lose some. So if you're not okay with losing some, you've got to trade them very slow. And if that's you, because that is a lot of people, that is about 60% of people that maybe they do want to take a slower approach. They don't want to just blow up. You know, they don't want to be trading aggressive. You should not be trading this market right now. You should be waiting for something bigger to happen. Okay. You should be waiting for a better setup, I should say. In my opinion, these setups, the last 3 that I've taken, very subpar setups. Why are they subpar setups? Lunch hour, okay, rollover week, FOMC week. The range is not that enticing. It's been chopping for 2.5 hours, 2 hours or so. Right? These are very subpar setups. Nice, Tony. I mean, not nice, but keep me posted on how that goes. Let's see. I mean, you never know. You might be able to catch that one fucking move that's going to put you over the top, right? It's possible. But again, you know, I definitely got to make a point. This is not the best environment to trade. Okay, it's not. So, because I know there's traders out there who may be struggling or may not be understanding, you know, what's going on with the price or how come they're not catching moves. It's not the best environment to trade. And it's like a lot of traders, they have a like a block. There's a block where, well, the market's open. How come it's not, you know, how come we're just not making all this money? Not every day is the same, and not every day is a good day, and not every day is technically a trade day. So if sometimes you can come into the market and you can actually scrape some cash together, $100, $200, $300 on a subpar day, on a subpar week, you gotta be almost content with that and just wait for better days. But I get it. We're all human, right? We all want to pass these things quick. We all want to take the payouts. What do? We just go crazy and try to treat every day and every trade as if we're just going to, you know, we're going to make something happen. And a lot of times when we do that, we just end up shooting ourselves in the foot. Because there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity and controlled ignorance and stupidity, right? One who doesn't know that they're being ignorant and stupid is just aggressively trading, and you're just going back and forth, and you don't know why the fuck this is happening to, and you don't know why the hell you can't pass accounts, and you don't know why the hell you can't take payouts. That's just being stupid. You're being blind. You know, you have a mirage of what you expect this to be, and you're trying to actively get that. You have controlled stupidity and ignorance, which right now I'm falling a little bit more into the controlled ignorance and stupidity. I know that I shouldn't be trading this, and I know that it's not the best. And if I do lose an account along the way, hey, we just mark that one up to the game, right? I understood that. It's not the best time to trade. you know. So, and again, I've always treated like evaluations and stuff as a trade, one trade itself. So Topstep's $50. This is a $50 trade for me. This entire account is a $50 trade. That's it. It's one $50 trade. One singular $50 trade. If I lose the whole account, I lost $50 on one specific trade. I trade options full time off the open. That's how I make my bread and butter. That's how I pay my bills. I risk anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000 per trade. There's no chance in hell that I'm going to even be able to get out of an options trade with premium and stuff moving around for $50. A lot of times when I'm trading 10 contracts, I'm going to be down $300 or $400 or $500 if I do take a losing trade. So you see the difference? But so many people treat their prop firm accounts as like, oh my gosh, I just lost $3,000 or $2,000. It's like, no, you lost $50. Or if you're on a different prop firm, you lost $33, right? Whatever it cost you. Whatever it cost you. Take your time. You know, you're not just going to pass every account, and because if you did, right, think about it. If you bought an account and you bought an account and you bought an account and you in the back bought an account and you passed it on your first time and you passed it on your first time and you passed it on your first time and you got a payout in 2 weeks and then you got a payout and then I'm looking at you in the back, you got a payout in 2 weeks, there would be no prop firm business. You know what I'm saying? There would be no prop firm business. The prop firm business is built around people blowing them. The prop firm business is built around people like myself that understand we are risking $50 a trade and we're going to lose this account in attempts to pass this account. Okay. So that whole business model would not exist if there was not people who were controlled stupid and then just stupid, right? Because if everyone could just pass that easily and everyone could just take a couple trades, like all of you guys think that you can, all of you guys think you're going to make $1,000 a day and just take a payout in a week, because you think that, you're just playing into what's keeping the market and keeping this business going, right? So how about we just kind of flip the switch a little bit and just understand that, okay, I'm not going to be like 90% of the other people that are blind and just, I think I'm going to make $1,000 a day. But let me be like the other 10% that probably, you know, they understand they're going to lose some accounts along the way. They understand that sometimes they'll pass an account in a couple days and sometimes it might take them a couple weeks. But they're looking at each account that they're taking as a $50 trade or a $35 trade, whatever it costs you. I don't care how much it costs you. I don't care what firm you trade with. But if you just start looking at it in that manner, you start to loosen up a little bit. A lot of you guys are too tight. You're too tight. You know, this is trading, baby. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. It only becomes serious when you don't understand what you're doing wrong. Or let me rephrase that. It only becomes serious when you don't accept what you're doing wrong. Many of you out there do not accept what you're doing wrong. Many of you guys have no problem, you know, making $500, $1,000 very quickly, and then you just give it all back. I've done it. I've done it. You know, I'm not calling you out. I'm with you. You know, I do it too. But just understand it. Understand it. Be okay with it. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. We're still sitting here watching the market do absolutely nothing. Guys, we got 15 minutes before we come out of this lunch hour chop. Hopefully we can get two things to happen. A 20 SMA play to the long side that actually starts to break some prior swing highs, because we've put in lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? I could actually probably draw a trend line, right? What we need to see here is this to actually get broken, which it did here. Depends on where I want to put this at. I'll actually put it here. We've broken multiple times, but we have failed to confirm. Okay, so can we see that? We've broken multiple times, but we failed to confirm. So if we can start to confirm where we actually get a close over this downwards trend line where we've put in lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, then maybe we can see that push and break up to the upside. Or if we break the bottom floor here, maybe we get that nice sell off to the downside. And hopefully that comes after lunch here in the next 12 to 13 minutes. And hopefully we can all make some money. And hopefully we can all pass some evaluations. And hopefully we can all just stop trading and go do something else today and be very happy. That would make me happy. That would make me happy if everyone just passed their evaluations today or got you know, one step closer to payout. By the way, guys, what's the date today? Today's the 16th. I got a lot of people in my room requesting payouts at the end of the day today for Apex. So, you know, we're in that window again for the pay cycle. Unfortunately for me, I took my payouts on the last cycle, so I don't have any accounts that have 10 days trading until the 1st. So I'm going to have to sit here and continue to trade more days for those Apex accounts, which is why I am trading a lot of Topstep right now. What's up, Lucas? How we doing? How we doing? Hourly chart, guys, I'm still looking at, still holding the 50 SMA. Guys, let's get the likes up there. 49 viewers. I think this is the most viewers I've had on my stream ever at one time. Let's get those likes up there. YouTube is going to start pushing this video out to everyone's homepage. Everybody. Thank you. Also, guys, how's all my other buddies doing out there in the streaming world? How are all my other futures trading streamers doing today? I have not checked in on anybody. How's the fam doing? All of them. I love them all. They're all great. They're all great. See if we can finally get this breakout. I actually want to start. I want to start buying into this. But I would like to get a little bit of a close back over. Definitely flirting with a little bit of a higher risk appetite today on this combine. And again, guys, just for some of you newer people, my trade window is the first 2 hours of the market. After that, once it comes lunchtime and after lunchtime, it's just pure fuckery. It's a pure evaluation trading. Let's use the language. Pure evaluation trading. What is the contract for December, guys? What is it? NQ what? NQ, what's the letter? For December? It's not U, is it? Z. Yeah, that's what I thought. How come Topstep X doesn't let me pull up the December contract yet? Somebody tell them something. It's only giving me U. I don't like that. I don't like that. Anyways. But we are looking at the December contract here on my screen. So trading up towards this 19,600 area. Again, back over the 20 SMA. Are we getting over this little, you know, fake trend line that I've got here? Again, I'm not a trend line trader. I just see something on the chart and I like to put it down. You know, I'd like to actually see this put in a high over one of these previous swing highs, actually close over and consolidate this way, right? I want to consolidate sideways. I don't want to pull back to the bottom of the range. I'm tired of pulling back to the bottom of the range, right, Ben? Ben says SSZ. ZZZZ, SSZ. I don't know. It is what it is. We got it right on this screen. On the screen that you guys can see, we got it right. It's just Topstep X. They're giving me funny business over there. They're still giving me September contracts. Guys, we're in the long here. If anyone did take a little bit of a long just on the trend line break, take some profits. Take some profits, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt to scrape off a little bit. Glendy in my room says up 160 in London session. Okay, yeah, over trading. I think over trading is definitely hurting a little bit of people today. Okay, cool. Thank you, Ben. Over trading is definitely hurting a little bit of people today. Guys, what are we saying here? We think we're going to get this break to the top side here. I mean, we're going to actually start to close over a prior swing high here. I don't know how many times this market stopped me out doing this kind of crap, right? You know? Trading evaluations here. We're not just looking for $100. We're looking for more. What's up, Marie? How you doing today? One hour chart, I've got that resistance at 623. Maybe we get a push into 623. Rhythmic or NT problem screwed me. Hey, Tom G. So in my room this morning, I heard a lot of people were having problems with Rhythmic. Not only opening trades on them, but their trades were getting, you know, their trades were, I don't know, fills, something was going on. Something was going on, but it was causing a bunch of problems. Charts weren't loading. Someone got thrown into accounts, or someone got thrown into positions. Like absolute mess. Absolute mess. I think someone posted up in my room, TraderVate released a statement, Rhythmic released a statement on that. It has nothing to do with the actual prop firms. It was like a data connection issue. VWAP at 635. So we're looking at 635 is the VWAP, and I've got a 5 SMA at 621. So we're in that same zone. We're in that same zone, Lucas. We got about a 10-point zone there, where me and you got a little bit of resistance. So maybe, yeah, that's what I heard too. Wouldn't cancel orders, all types of shit, right? I guess it's part of the game, and they're forcing us to deal with it. Hey, it is what it is. Hopefully none of us took too big of a hit or anything like that. But if we did, hopefully the prop firm's going to take good care of us, right? But it just sucks, right? It just sucks having to deal with that kind of stuff. Just sucks having to deal with that kind of stuff. What do we got here? We got, anybody got eyes on the clock? We got 5-minute candle closing pretty soon, right? Cost you about $500, but it was an evaluation. Luckily, it was an evaluation. Luckily, it was an evaluation, but it's unnecessary though, right? It's unnecessary. You know, it's unnecessary. Guys, a 20 SMA play setting up, you know, full transparency. The last two 20 SMA longs that I took were losers. But no bias here. No bias. I'm in a long position currently. I'm in a long position currently. In a long position currently. You know what would be sweet? I've never caught one of these like end of day after lunch 100-point rallies. I've never caught one, ever. I'd love to just sit in this. You know, wouldn't that be something special? Wouldn't that be something special? You know what I like to tell people though in my room? That shit never happens to a guy like me. It never happens to just us common folk. You know, we just don't. We're not that lucky. We're not that lucky. We're finally breaking over a previous little swing high here. I'd like to see us close over at least 610, 615. I'd like to see us close over 610, 615, and then try to just continue to push. That next area of resistance that I would be looking at would be somewhere around the 640s. Again, this 1 hour chart still looks good, but it is running right into supply. Move my stop where to break even and just run for fun. That makes sense. That makes sense. What am I in at? I'm in at 365. I'm in at 365. Whoops. Okay. Stop loss is there. Stop loss is in profit. I believe. No. This is just going to come back and just break me out for break even. Come on. Come on. Hold the line. Hold the line. Who's going to carry the boats? Who's going to carry the boats? Ultimately, what I'd like to see us do is take out the previous hour high, 19,642. 19,642. Come on, baby, push. Who's in the long? I wouldn't have taken it either. Guys, I'm just talking shit here. I wouldn't have taken it either. The last two longs I took were low. Let me make a point. Let me make a point. If I was trading my funded account here, full transparency, I'd be 100% out. I would have taken the $250, $300. I would have been out. I would have been out. I wouldn't be screwing around with it, holding it, seeing, oh, how far can we go playing this stupid game, right? I have a feeling like a lot of traders, even when they're in fundeds or they're in evaluations and they're just barely getting their feet wet, you guys are kind of playing this game. Oh, how far can it go? I see we could potentially go here, versus just taking what you should probably do is just take the smart money and just walk away. So again, I wouldn't be your guys' friend if I said that if this was my XFA account or my PA account with Apex, 100,000%, I would be out already for 200, 250 or whatever on the same play, on the same entry where I got in. I would be out. I would be done, and I would just be like, yeah, like, just dusting my shoulders off, and I would have been done. But because this is an evaluation account, we're having a little bit of fun, right? We're having a little bit of fun. People are coming in here. They're hitting the like button for the first time in my whole YouTube career, and we're having a little bit of fun. I just want to take it now, but see, that's the problem. When you get so antsy, from trading like real cash, you hate giving back the profits. Like these guys and gals who can just hold these trades all day long, it's crazy. You guys are a different breed. You guys are a different breed. I mean, I'm going to just continue to move this stop up. I just moved my stop up. This one's probably going to get tagged, guys. This one might get tagged. Lucas, are you in this trade? This is going to stop me. Lucas, how much size are you playing? You probably got like 10 mini contracts on the board. What are you up? A couple thousand? This is going to stop me, guys. Very close to my stop loss. Very close to my stop loss. 3 minis? Lucas, 3 minis? You got to be up like, you in 3 minis? You got to be up like over 500 bucks, right? 600 bucks? Or 3 micros? Wolf, it is, but the stop losses are a lot bigger. Oh, I got stopped out, guys. I got stopped out. I didn't even see how much I made on that. It was over 200 bucks. I think I had my stop loss at like $220 profit. Got stopped out. The party train is over for me. The party train is over for me. That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, Wolf, I mean, yeah, when you're looking at those bigger time frames, yeah, the price action is a lot slower, the levels are a lot bigger. You definitely, you know, take some more time and you wait for them to happen and confirm. You're not so rushed. It's just, you know, depending on your accounts and your position size, you know, so those stop losses can be yeah, it stopped out for a win. Yeah, Ben, I think it was like 250 or something like that, around there. I didn't see the exact number. I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look at the stats, but it was like 250 or something. But again, you know, before I get back to Wolf, if this was a funded account, I would have taken profits at 350 at 400. Like I wouldn't have wanted to go up $400 and then get stopped out at 200, even though it was a winner. I don't like that. I don't like that because I had plenty of time to take. I had plenty of time to take it at 350, plenty of time to take it at 400. And again, the only reason why I was holding, seeing if the market was going to do one of those things that it does, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, where you look at the market 30 minutes later and that thing is up 100 points. I was hoping it was going to do that thing that it does, but it didn't. Is because it's a combine. Sounds like green. Yeah, green is green. I mean, again, at the end of the day, we openly and welcomely accept green. I don't even care if it's 10 bucks. We will take green. Now watch it do that thing that it does. Now watch it do that thing that it does. So previous hour high is over the 5-day moving average. And that high price is 19,623. And this high price has come in at 19,622 and a half. So guys, if we do pull back, right? If we do pull back, this is what I'll be looking for. Hopefully it doesn't do it before I can draw. If it does pull back and it holds this area, because remember what I was trying to say, I'm tired of the pullbacks coming all the way back down to the low. Like, I don't want to see the pullback come to the low. Like, don't do that. If we take out the high price, that's going to be confirming previous hour high. Our next true resistance is at 19,668. So ultimately, I'd like to see it pull back a little bit, but then I'd like to see it break this range, right? Break this little swing high and do something like that. Makes sense? Maybe if we can get one more little slight dip. I'd like to see it dip once more before taking out this prior hour. But the hourly chart looks good. Chart looks good. And all my stupid longs from earlier, you know, they all would have paid out. They all would have paid out. Just had too much size to hold it. It is what it is. Oh, we got 60 people. We got 60 people in the room. We got 60 people in the room, Chad. Let's get the likes up a little bit more. If you short it, Wolf, what's the stop? Over 625? What's the thought process there? Got to work it on both sides, you know. I'm still looking at the prior day, this prior day low, right? We look at, or the prior day high, 580s. Really guessing a dump. Wolf, I don't like to guess. I just like someone to give me all the lottery numbers. Number for number. The exact ones. Give me that Powerball number. What is? I hear you. I hear you. I take it you're short then. Just be careful, my man. Just be careful. Looking for a slight pullback. I'd like to see us pull back just a hair. I've got this 1 hour Bollinger Band kind of creeping on our ass here at 19,593. I'd like to see maybe a 10-15 point pullback. 95 is the 20 SMA. Again, I'm looking at the 5 minute. Wolf's got us taken care of here on the 1 minute. Lower highs is definitely right. Like it would have to break this 25 and close over it for this downtrend to not be working. This short-term little trend line break that we had was a good little break. It was just a good little cash flow trade, right? But in terms of the momentum, in terms of the trend is still down. So we would still need to see a close over 525, 530s before we actually had, you know, to say maybe this downtrend is broken and this market does one of those things that it likes to do. You know, I'm still looking at support being at around 595. You know, truthfully speaking, I'd like to see it, you know, pull back into 595, hold, and then take out 625. That would be a better trade for me. That could be something that I would get behind. That would be something I would get behind. If we break 625, I'm interested. Actually, it's 623. 623. Yeah, I'm looking at that as well, Melissa. I'm looking at that yesterday's low. I wanted that yesterday's low. If this market gets over 623, I see it running right into yesterday's low, which is not that far ahead. So if one takes this little break here, you would have to try to assume, take profits into that, maybe move your stop loss to break even and hold and see if we get back inside of yesterday's low. That's a thought process there. And if it sweeps yesterday's low, gets rejected and comes back down, then Wolf's idea of this market coming lower becomes a little bit more valid. But ultimately, what I want to see, like, just make everyone's lives a little bit easier, to be honest. Like, just confirm this, long, and just do what the market does, right? Just give us that 100-point move into the close, 200-point move into the close. How about this? How about we just go from red to green? How about that? You know, like, when's the last time you guys caught a move all the way from the bottom from red to green? Right? That kind of stuff doesn't happen to folks like us, though. Never does. Never does. So we're still rejecting that area. Kind of just flagging right here. I'm still watching that area a little close. I hear you 100%. 100%. You know, impatient me wants to go long and just get in on the breakout and make money on the way up. Impatient me also wants to short this back down to support. So what am I going to do? I'm going to listen to the me in the middle, and I'm going to say, let me just wait for one of them to happen. Let me wait for the break. Let me wait for the break over the 623, and I'll try to take this a little bit stab long into maybe, I don't know, 640. And then if not, I'll see if we lose this 20 SMA and we start to lose the bottom of this range. Ultimately speaking, you know, what's keeping me still long-sided bias, again, although I do see the short side, I do see that. What's keeping me in this bias long is the hourly chart. So if you guys look at the hourly chart does have room. If I look at the 30-minute chart, it might tell me a little bit of a different story. 30-minute chart is telling me a different story. And the 30-minute chart is telling me that I have my next resistance at 640. So if I can get over this, if I can get over 623.75, 623 point, I'm trading the Nasdaq NQ, if I can get over 623.75, I've got room to 640. Anything over 640 breaks this consolidation downtrend and would have room to 670. But right now, be patient. To be honest, just be patient. It's very easy to get in front of us, start putting this horse in front of the carriage, or this carriage in front of the horse. But be patient here. $623 and 7.75. Is that what they say? Is that what they say? Someone give me the Bible. Mm-hmm. very, very tight range the last 25 minutes here. We're in about a 20-point range the last 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, 20-point range. That's nothing. I would expect this next move to be violent. I would expect this next move to be quick. Even if it is a trap, even if it's a trap long, I could see it going up 15, 20, 25 points fast and then trap. I could also see the same thing to the downside. 20, 25 points extremely fast, trap. So again, just be patient until we break out of this range here. I'm looking at the 30-minute chart getting very, very tight. It's getting almost, this candle on a 30-minute chart is getting absolutely squeezed in between a 5 and 10-day moving average. Watch, Wolf, this thing's going to go down 40 points now. Little bit of support here at 592, Wolf. A little bit of support here at 592. Needs to break through that. Let's see what the guys on Topstep TV are talking about. Not a lot going on here, guys. I'm still staying patient. We got Wolf in the shorts. Let's get some likes in the chat for Wolf on his short position here. Guys, get some likes in the chat for Wolf. Some likes in the chat for Wolf here on his short. Let's put some money in his account. There's that test. There's that test, Wolf. Let's see if it wants to continue to flush. Yeah, hopefully we pick a direction. Hopefully it's long. I want to go long. I let you make your money, Wolf, to the downside. Hopefully, if you're still in it, you make a little bit more. Now let me catch a little piece of this pie to the upside on this break. Guys, what do you think about some of the, have you guys ever watched Topstep TV? You guys ever go through these trading, these like when they do their risk management like trader recaps? This guy here, 27% winning days, right? So we're losing, I'm still watching his break just to buy in case it happens. 27% winning days, 33% winning trades. Okay, best day 32,000, worst day 3,000. So obviously great risk to, like, the great risk to reward on that. Average winning day is 7,000, average losing day is 3,000. Shooting for a 1-to-1 risk to reward 2,500. I mean, it's great because you have a $32,000 winning days. That's all. That's awesome. Like when you see that kind of stuff. But that takes this very specific individual, because imagine if you won 27% of your days. So out of 10 days traded, you only won 2 days, but you made $32,000 in those 2 days because you had a 10R winner, like where you caught a all day move. Can you sustain that? You know, can you sustain that? Because again, they do it. There's certain people that do it. But for me, like off the bat, I know I could never do that. Like I could never do that because that would weigh so much mentally on me that I'm only winning 2 out of 10 days. Even if I know there might be a $10,000 winning day in there, it would weigh on me so much emotionally that where I don't know if I could be able to handle that. That's crazy. But it's interesting to see because every trader is different, you know? Every trader is different. It's cool to see how people do it. Of course, yeah, like Lucas, like my winning, like this guy has 27% winning days. Like I think I average like 70% winning days. Like so that's like 7 days I'll probably finish green on my funded accounts, and I'll probably finish red 3 times in 2 weeks. But I will never put up a $30,000 day. Like I will never do that. Like it'd be impossible for me. It'd be impossible for me to ever do that because I don't trade that way. I don't use that kind of size, and I definitely don't hold for that long. Guys, we're looking for the break here. Looking for the break. What is it? 23 and a half, 23.75. There it goes. It was a very quick break. Very quick break all the way up to 31 from the 23 and a half. Huh. But a lot of that trading that they do is like all in with the max size. 5, 10 contracts. Hey, Wolf, there was your you wanted to see manipulation to both sides or whatever you said, something about the Bible. I don't know. But they got the short trapped, got the long trapped, maybe, right? I don't know. How do you guys feel about that style of trading? Good job, Melissa. Good job. Yeah, you're like me. Just take the money and run. Just take the money and run. I had a quick bracket order in there too as well. It's still a little pinched on the 1 hour chart, guys. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, I mean, market, truthfully speaking, is not going anywhere. Like the big range that we're in here, we've been in for 3 hours, right? To the bottom, all the way up to the top. I mean, it's a huge range between 640s and 550s. It's a 100-point range that it's just going back and forth between, right? It's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This could be your short position here that actually starts to break down and go to the downside. Could definitely be your move here that you're looking for to the downside. It's right back down into those 90s. See how it's going back and forth in this range. Definitely a little bit of a scalper's market here, guys. What you don't want to be doing is trying to hold, thinking we're going to get the breakdown to the lows or the breakdown all the way to the highs. You kind of want to just tighten it up a little bit and just kind of take your profits. If you see the little bit of a break here, like for example, we were looking at that 23.5. I had an order sitting out there for that 23.5, 23.75, and it went all the way up to 31. Very, very just quick 5-point take profit there on a couple of mini contracts. So nothing much, $200 winner. Nothing to write home about, but that is what it is. Chart still looks strong. So even though it is chopping back and forth, guys, I mean, the hourly chart is still strong. It still has rising support. What is this? See if we break these highs over 631. If it gets over 631, 640 is your next resistance. Again, very, very tough and choppy range here to kind of be involved in. You're going to kind of have to see green, take green, unless you do catch a runner, move a stop loss to break even, and then kind of play it from there. But again, ultimately, 1 hour chart is pushing up to the upside here. We've got that yesterday low price sitting here a little bit as well. So again, just kind of be patient, understand what you're looking for in terms of a risk to reward and a risk management standpoint here. You don't want to do anything too fucking crazy. You don't want to do anything too crazy. See if we can get another break through this into the 40s. Again, if this does start to close over the 40s, then maybe we're going to have a little bit of room to kind of test the upper range on that initial balance. And the market does one of those things that it likes to do towards the end of the day, where you see the market kind of chop around and do absolutely nothing. And then come the end of the day, it just reverses that whole move. So again, this is that troublesome spot that we've had here. Just keep a close eye on it. We were rejected very aggressively last time. If you are scalping, especially if you're scalping heavier size, see green, take green, guys. Because again, this will pull back on you 20, 30 points in a blink of an eye, because it is still in a range, and we are at the top of this little range that we've been in for the better half of around 2 hours. So again, when you're trying to go long at the top of a range before we've confirmed any type of actual breakout, it's extremely dangerous. So it's almost like you are jumping out of the 10th story building, right? How's that fall going to be? You know, probably not that good, right? Probably not that good. So definitely, you know, be a little bit more cautious. But the hourly chart is, you know, it's still pushing higher here. The hourly chart is still pushing higher. Troll back. What troll? What troll? Andrew, you're the troll? What do you got for me today? Hit me with it. Hit me with it. Everyone let's get some likes in the chat for the troll. Great conversation the last time. If this is the same one, it was a great conversation last time. What's up, buddy? Hey, we're all learning. We're all learning still. You guys want to see the hour chart, what I'm talking about here? I'm going to take off all this crap. I'm going to take off all this crap, and I'm going to show you guys the chart I'm looking at on the other screen. Okay. This is what I'm looking at on my other screen that I keep referencing to, this 1 hour chart. You notice how this 1 hour chart is pushing up and it's riding this Bollinger Band. Okay, this white line here, it's riding this Bollinger Band. Now, if this crashes through the red line, these two red lines, it's a 50 EMA SMA. If we crash through that, there's nothing but airspace down. But you can see that once we're over, now that we're over this previous little previous hour high, it does have space to kind of push into 660s, right? You know, whether that happens or not, I don't know, but I'm saying the hourly chart has room. Now that it's that 5-minute chart that's been giving us a ton of fucking issues, and the 2-minute chart and the 1-minute chart, those charts at those smaller time frames have been giving us a ton of issues, you know, because the ranges are contracting, right? They're like, there's a lot of resistance on the smaller time frames. The 1 hour chart has room. Now, whether that chart is going to continue to, you know, show us something, I don't know, but this is only reason why I was a little bit more biased towards that long-sided continuation, just because of the 1 hour chart. Now, again, you have people like Wolf who were shorting and they were making some great money in that range, which is completely fine. I mean, that's fine as long as you understand where the range is at and you want to play it. That's the only reason why I was kind of telling Wolf that, hey, you know, we had some support down there in those 90s, right? Like, we got to get below those 90s before we start to see this open up to the downside, right? So again, you know, that's ultimately what we want to see here, is get below the 90s for any room to the downside, or just kind of continue to like drift higher into the 50s and 60s, which is 20, 30 points higher, right? Ultimately, that's what we want to see. But again, is it going to happen? I don't know. Let's look at the 4 hour chart and kind of see what's going on over there. 4 hour chart also does kind of have some space into like 690s, right? That's a 4 hour chart though. 4 hour chart is also holding a little bit of support there. If you look at the daily chart is just kind of floating in outer space. But again, this is the December contract that we're looking at, so that contract is going to change a little bit. It's looking a little different now that I've rolled that contract. The 30-minute time frame has resistance at 40. So that 40 is what's causing the big problem there. And again, I mean, I'm in this long position. Again, you guys already know we're playing mini contracts here on the evaluation. I can actually like kind of move my stop loss up a little bit to like a $300 profit or something. I move my stop loss up to a $300 profit, which is probably going to get tagged, which is why I don't really like trailing the damn stop. I just like to let it work. But it's up 495, 480, and I think I got my stop loss set at $300. So we'll kind of see. Like I've just kind of been sitting in this long since we broke that last little swing high. Again, on the 15-minute time frame, we're stuck literally right at a resistance. 15-minute chart. Up 540, 675. So this is starting to move here, guys. Up 690. I'm in 3. Let's sell 1 contract there. We locked in $200 there. This 5-minute chart starting to fucking finally move, guys. 40s is the next resistance there. We're gonna peel off another. We're gonna peel off another, and then now this is gonna become a runner. This is gonna become a runner, guys. This is gonna become a runner. This is running into resistance. So truthfully speaking, if you just want to take the whole move because we're at resistance, you take your profits here. Okay, you take your profits here. 1 contract, 1 mini contract is up $300 right now. So far, we've locked in $508 on this entire move. Again, it's an evaluation account. We do trade heavy size on those evaluation accounts. Total up right now that's locked in the bank is $500. Continuing to push higher here, guys. That's the winning trade there. Let's fucking go, Lucas. Let's fucking go. So with that, guys, again, what were we looking at, guys? We were looking at that break. I mean, we were looking at the 623.5. So initially put in that first bump, and then it pulled back a little bit, and then now once we took it out, once we confirmed it over what is it, 631, this thing absolutely flied. So we are up right now about $400 on that remaining running contract. I'm just gonna lock it, guys. I'm gonna lock it. That is $916.60 on this move. We traded 3 mini contracts, and to be quite frank, with Topstep, you can only pass. You have to trade less than $1,500 or some shit. So, you know, can I go for another $400 or $500 more? Sure. That would ensure that this account gets passed. But again, you know, we were locked out of our XFA, which is our funded account. We were locked out of that very early this morning on $361. So I can't even trade that account if I wanted to. What else are we saying here? Melissa, okay. Andrew, okay. ATR, depends on how you want to use the ATR, Andrew. A lot of times I'll look at ATR as a take profit, right? So if we look at this particular move, right, this long move here, and again, maybe I should go back to the cleaner chart because some of you guys won't understand this. But let's look at something like this, okay? If we were to look at ATR in this particular situation, and I need to pull up the chart that has ATR on it. Let's look at this, okay? So in this particular situation, if we knew, right, we had this consolidation over the 623.5, right here in this area. We broke that area. We put in a new high. So your entry becomes this, right? Once we confirm that new high, okay? So here's the, like, let's call this a pivot point, right? Our pivot point was that. It was 623.76, okay? Once you break the 623.5, you put in a new high, that becomes your entry. So if the pivot was 623.5, it needs to break that. And once that gets broken, that new high price, which was 631, becomes our entry. So on this candle, this big green candle that confirmed, it went from 630 all the way up to 654.5. Let me make something clear, everyone. The ATR on a 5-minute time frame, 25 points. So from 630 to 654.5 is 25 points. Wouldn't we say that maybe 20 to 25 points is a great take profit? That's how I use ATR. That's why I sold out of that position. Even though I would love to sit and let this thing ride all the way up to the high side, you know, it's not the style of trader. That's why when I was kind of talking about how they were doing the breakdown on that Topstep TV on those traders who might win 20, 30% of their days or their trades, but they're going to take a $10,000 winning day. like that'll never be me because I don't trade. I can't trade that. It's just fucking not in my DNA. I can't do it. But it is what it is. So like and even I'll look at that as a stop loss too. So as of right now, a lot of as of late on my funded accounts, I've been trading 5 micro contracts. My stop loss is around 25 points. So why it's around 25 points is because that's, for this current market environment, around 25 to 30 points is a legitimate ATR on a 5-minute time frame. And because I trade the 5-minute time frame, I want to at least give it at least one ATR to allow my trade to work out. And if it loses more than 25, 30 points, I've got to be out, right? So for me, if I trade 4 or 5 micro contracts, my max risk is going to be around $250. So if I do take a loss, it's going to be around $250, $300 with some slippage, depending on how fast it moves. And then when I look for that winner, I'm looking to take around 20 points. So I kind of operated on that. If I'm trading 1 mini in my funded accounts, I have a very strict rule where I will give myself $400 of max pain, okay, on 1 trade. If I lose that 1 trade, I do not trade anymore on that account. But I will look for 10 points, so $200. So between 10 and 15 points. Sometimes I will have a hard take profit at 10 points. Other times I will manually try to let it ride over 10 points and maybe snag 12, 13 points or whatever, something like that. That's how I try to do it. Yeah, minis are very dangerous. I definitely would not trade minis, especially if you don't have a lot of experience trading them. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You'll just be throwing away money. And not necessarily that's because you're a bad trader. It's just because the P&L fluctuations cause way too many fucking emotions to manage it tight to the vest. That's just my opinion. You know, if you've been doing this for a little while and you have a higher risk appetite, then sure, go ahead and trade those minis. Because again, like even on that trade that I just took, that long trade, I mean, it's great to see the P&L fluctuate up $300, $400, $500, $600, but you know, when I've been on the opposite end of that, where it's going against me $500, $600, it sucks. It's a horrible feeling. So I typically only trade minis in evaluations, and I typically trade micros in funded accounts. We're still pushing higher, guys. So was a good move. Was a good move. Dean, I don't really trade the ES too much. Nothing against it. I don't know. I've landed on the NQ. I didn't land on the NQ. I trade stocks and options. I trade high beta, so I'm going to trade Nvidia, Apple's, Tesla's, AMD's, Microsoft's. And I always look at and reference triple Qs. So it was only natural when I started to trade futures that I traded NQ. Why do I use prop firms, not fund my own account? So I trade options, and I trade options in my own account. 80% of my revenue, how I pay my bills, how I keep the roof over my head, how I eat, comes from trading options. I look at futures as a secondary source of income, and you get more leverage. You get more leverage with prop firms, because I can go take $35 or $50 and have $2,000 worth of drawdown to play with, and potentially make $3,000 to take out $2,000, right? So my money stretches a lot farther on the prop firms. However, that does not mean that every time I take a payout from the prop firms that I do not deposit money into my personal account. And I do have a personal futures account with TraderBait that I do trade as well. Very small, trade it a couple micros at a time, and that's it. But I mean, when you talk about the prop firms, I mean, some of these firms have 5 accounts, 10 accounts, and if you make $2,000, $3,000, you know, you're talking about taking out $1,000 to $2,000 times 5 accounts or 10 accounts is very good money. It's more money than you can, like, you would need to put in so much money to make that amount of money on a personal account, which I don't need to, because my money is in my options and my Charles Schwab account to trade stocks and options. I definitely do recommend everyone who is trading prop to definitely utilize it as a tool. It's not the end all and it's not the be all. You should definitely have your own personal accounts to trade. whether you're trading futures, whether you want to go trade stocks, whether you want to go trade options, whether you want to go trade crypto, whatever it is that you want to trade, I do believe that you should have your eggs spread out in multiple baskets. I would never rely on one prop firm. I would never rely on one account. I would spread them out. So look at it as multiple sources of income, right? Multiple sources of income, you know, in all seriousness. Our upper supply here, guys, on a 1 hour chart is sitting at the 70s. That is a 10-day moving average. So if you guys want to reference it on your chart, you can pull up a 10-day simple moving average and plot that on a 1 hour time frame. It depends. If you are a scalper, I would say maybe go with something like Apex. Apex or Topstep is good. I use both of them. I can speak on both of them because I use them personally. I'm funded with each, and I've taken payouts with each. So I kind of know the process of, you know, the legitimacy of them and are they good and this, that, and the other. The other one that is good and that I will be trying out and will be getting funded with is going to be Take Profit Trader. I like them as well. But there's all sorts. There's all sorts out there. There's all sorts out there. You have My Funded Futures. You have the new one, which is direct to funded account, fast track. You have Bullnox. You have a bunch of them. I would just say find the one that has the platform that you like. So for me, I like TraderBait. You know, a lot of guys in my room, they use NinjaTrader platform. Great. You know, I don't really like it. I do all my charting here on the Thinkorswim platform anyways. I'm just executing on those, so it doesn't really matter the platform for me. And I'll just rather take the web-based platform for TraderBait and do it. And then with Topstep, I use Topstep X. Take Profit Trader is always kind of running that 50% off code. I think it's a pretty good code. What does it cost? Was it $70? I think all in for a 50K account. Still kind of pushing higher here, guys. We're still pushing higher here. Yeah, I've got a link out there. Let me see if I can grab it for you. What market makers, Wolf? Wolf, what market makers? Guys, we're running right into that supply zone at the hourly chart. That was an awesome move there. That was an awesome move there on that. So if any of you guys, again, I'll go back to it just so we can kind of see originally what I was looking at, why the hell I was so long-sighted bias based off that hourly chart. It was this setup here. So notice how, right? Notice how we see that. Notice how we were holding this floor for 3 hours, the 50-day moving average. Notice how we last hour, we got stuck right there at that 5, which is a green line. If we confirmed, we had space to just kind of pop right here into this zone where we're at now. So that's it. I mean, that's how I use this big chart with supply and demand. I'm basically trying to time, right? Because timing is a big key. I'm basically trying to time entries when we are confirming the macro chart, which for me as a day trader, I reference the 1 hour. Some people reference the daily, some people reference the 4 hour, but because I'm trading on the 5-minute time frame, I'm referencing my macro as the 1 hour chart. So I was entirely open to the short if we were to lose these previous hour lows below this support. That has a lot of room down. So I'm still interested in a short this week below 530s. Okay, interested in a short this week below 530s, but it was just that high of that 623. Once we broke it, it was going to open up like a freaking hot air balloon and let all the air out into the next area of supply. So if one was long and we were holding and you're trailing your stop loss up, keep continuing to trail your stop loss up on that break even runner. But ultimately I would have sold here. I mean, I would be all out now. If I were still you, just get out. I wouldn't be your friend if I didn't tell you to get out. I hope you guys kind of understand that. Guys, that's my link for Apex if anyone wants to use it. It definitely helps support the channel. I don't really have a particular like coupon code or nothing. I'm not like I don't know, Apex doesn't consider me like a big guy like that. So you can just use a generic code, save 80 or whatever. Just messing with you. I'm just messing with you, man. Yeah, a lot of times, Melissa, it'll match up perfectly with these hourly levels. So I definitely use them, right? So like even if you notice, like, I don't know, for those of you guys who trade pre-market, right? Like I'll give you guys a little bit of a lesson here. If you're trading going into the market open, right? Let's say you were available in the pre-market. Notice how once we closed at 5 a.m. for me, Pacific Standard Time, once we closed below the 20-day moving average, we had nothing but space, right? So if I was to draw a line here at these lows, notice how on the 1 hour chart, there's nothing down here until this red line, which is a 50 SMA, okay? See how open it is, right? So notice how at 6 a.m., this candle where the market opens up, notice how once it confirmed the lows, it just started to gravitate and come down into that support, right? So technically speaking, you could have used a short today of like 19,661. Let's look at the 5-minute time frame and see how and when that confirmed. So notice, right? Notice this. It's going to be hard to see. It's going to be hard because this chart's going to be completely crazy. But notice how that 661, look at 6:30 in the morning when we opened up, the first candle of the day. Notice how it just washed out. So if you were playing the hourly level, this is a short that I was telling you guys originally when I started this stream. A lot of us caught this move because we were looking at those 660s levels, right? Based on the 1 hour chart. So basically on the 1 hour chart, we already understood that if we confirmed that breakdown, that we had room to kind of go lower. So, you know, you take it for a ride. And this is a 100-point candle. Now, I'm not saying you're going to catch this move and catch 100 points on it. I'm not saying that. But like you can definitely take 10, 15, 20 points, right? I mean, you can catch this momentum here and catch some points. So I always reference the 1 hour chart, and I play that in favor with the direction that I want to go. So it's just like earlier, like when Wolf had that idea of the short, it did pay for a little bit of a scalp. For myself personally, I just wanted to wait for the other side, which is fine. Let's let him make money on that short into support, and then if we do confirm to the long side, that's the trade I want to be in. Because for me, my short position is not until 640 or 534. 534. I'm not too big on the like setting up, looking at head and shoulders or cup and handle patterns. So Lucas, definitely keep me in the loop if we do set up something like that. Oh yeah, scalp was definitely nice. Yeah, you can definitely play the scalps, my man. You could definitely play those scalps. You know, which is good. I mean, at the end of the day, majority of us, we're all scalpers. So we just need to identify those little pockets, those little ranges. The ATR going down doesn't mean reversal. It just means that volume is starting to dry up a little bit. So the ranges are getting smaller. So earlier when I was kind of speaking about maybe we look for 20 to 25 point take profit. Right now the ATR is sitting at around 22. Maybe we look for like 15 to 20 points take profit on our scalps. And maybe we have like a 22, 23 point stop loss. Again, that's the way that I use it. You know, one could say 20 to 25 point stop loss, way too big. I would never use that big of a stop loss. That's fine. I do. Because ultimately, I mean, this is the Nasdaq, right? So it's the wild, wild west out here. This thing definitely can whip around on you 20 points in the blink of an eye. If we don't want to risk that much, you know, we can definitely risk less points by playing the ES, right? So like, let's take a look at ES. You know, if we look at the ES on a 5-minute time frame, you know, our ATR is around 3.8. So we could risk 4 to 5 points on the ES all day long, right? That might be a legitimate stop loss. Now notice the ES also had a setup as well on a 5-minute time frame, was a lot clearer than the Nasdaq chart because I was really utilizing the 1 hour time frame to get my level, but the ES on a 5-minute time frame had a really good level. This 200-day moving average, if you look at the ES and you plot a 200 SMA on your 5-minute time frame, plot that 200 SMA on there. Notice how we broke the 200 SMA. Great. What you want to see is a break of the 200 SMA and then confirm. So that new high price, which was 56.90, you want to see 56.90 get confirmed. That happened here on this big candle, and we went up to 56.94. So it was a good 4.5 point move, and it's actually gone up higher than that. So when you're looking at a 3.8 ATR, then maybe we're looking for a take profit around anywhere between 3 and 5 points, and we're setting a stop loss maybe around 4 points, right? Play it like that for scalps. And now it's kind of power trending. It's power trending holding this 5-day moving average here. So momentum is still drifting up to the upside. Because notice how on the NQ we're lagging a little bit. We're still underneath our 5-minute 200 SMA. Way up here. I do not use VWAP because a lot of times VWAP matches up with one of these other crazy lines that I have on my chart already. So if someone who uses VWAP, if you guys can give me the price of VWAP right now so I can match it up with what I have on my screen. That's why I don't use it. Not that it doesn't work or anything like that. It does. But normally it matches up with my levels. Nice job, Dean. 19,410. Are you still, you're still looking at the September contracts though? Can you flip to December's contracts? And what time frame are you looking at? $15-minute. What are we we're looking at NQ or we're looking at ES? 3460. Don Peters 3461. I have no idea. Okay, what why are we looking at the continuous chart versus the month chart? Hmm. What did you say it was though? 410. I can look at it down. 410. Right around that yesterday low price. 410 is honestly it's right here. Oh, 15-minute chart. Let me see. So 10 is right here. About right here where we're trading at. So I have the 100 EMA as well as a 5 SMA. So your VWAP matches up with this line right here, this yellow line, right? So for me to put a VWAP here, what extra, yeah, like what extra confluence or support or demand is it going to give me? It's nothing. Not saying that the VWAP's bad. There's nothing wrong with the VWAP, but it just matches up the same thing. So I treat them the same. Like I only use the 200, the 50, and the 20 as very, very strong areas, right? Everything else in between, it's just little speed bumps, right? Little speed bump of demand here, little speed bump of demand here, little speed bump of resistance here. That's all I'm doing. So a lot of times people who have never seen this chart before, the way I have it set up, they'll say, you know, how the fuck do you understand what's going on there? There's a lot of shit. And that's right. The more stuff that you see means the more junk is in the way. More, like, let's call it buyers and sellers, right? There's more junk in the way. Ultimately, what I would like to see now is I'd like to see a break over 19,683. I'd like to see a break up here because there's nothing here, right? This is giving me more of a better opportunity where I'm going to make long on a continuation back up to the high of day. Or I'd like to see a breakdown below 19,600 because I've got a lot of room down to around 569, which is 30 points. And then truthfully speaking, after that, I'd like to see all of these wicks get taken out, which would be losing the 200-day simple moving average and the EMA, because now I've got open airspace. I don't want to be trading in between, right? The same way when I was looking at that 1 hour chart. Like, I don't want to be trading in between a bunch of crap. I want there to be room. So like when we zoom in and we really look at that long that I was interested in and took, it's once we get over this green line and confirm there was room to push up into the next area. It's the same scenario setting up here now, that if the previous hour high gets confirmed yet again at 19,669, you're going to see that's over this supply. And this supply is a 10-day moving average. That would have room to try to stretch into the next area of supply. Makes sense? So if we had area of support or a resistance sitting right above it, well, I don't want to get long right into supply. I don't want to get short right into demand. I need there to be space. So I kind of have to sit on my stump until I get a setup worth taking a shit, which for me is the short below or the continuation long again. Everything else in between can kind of just kick rocks. I mean, definitely expanding to the top side. My next kind of resistance is not sitting up until 683. A little bit in the 70s and a little bit in the 80s. You know. There we go again. So if we do get over 669, I've got room to get into 77. We're kind of pushing here a little bit. Pushing here a little bit. We're back into just a little quick scalp here. This is just going to be a very quick scalp. $100 here on one mini contract. We're just going to log that out. We're just going to log that out. So anyone kind of see why I get into that little, it's just a scalp, right? I got it on the break of this 200 EMA into this previous high wick here. Just long from here to here. That's it. Notice how we were rejecting this previous wick too. So you're not looking to, no, there's no point. I'm not a fan of paper trading at all. Again, trading these prop firms is paper trading in itself, right? So we want to test something, we might as well test it on an evaluation or funded account. There's no real, I don't see a benefit to paper trading at all. Unless you're learning a new platform and you want to learn how to like set up a bracket order, set up a take profit, enter, you know, buy and sell. But other than that, if we're going to take trades and put on ideas, we want to have benefit to it. Melissa, sometimes I do. Yeah, like if we're really looking at a level, like especially this morning, watch. I'll show you this. Take a look at this. If we're looking at just a clean chart, right? Just a clean chart. Okay, I'll show you this real quick. So look at this chart. This is today's chart. And let's look at this pre-market, right? So notice how we're kind of fading in the pre-market, right? It's kind of just slowly fading in the pre-market. Look at these pre-market lows. Look at these pre-market lows. See how there's like a nice level there? If we break off the open, we can definitely catch momentum. This is the exact trade that we took based on the pre-market lows this morning that we were looking at. Because we were already fading. So there's only one of two things that's going to happen off the open. It's going to explode to the top side, right? Or it's going to lose pre-market lows. And then we can try to take our attempt at using those pre-market lows as a momentum trade. So yeah, today definitely the pre-market lows was a trade that I took and the level I was looking at. Not every day it looks this clean. Some days it's like in the middle, or like your pre-market highs way up here, your pre-market lows way up here. There's a big range, but we were already kind of floating down. So if we did just confirm it, it was going to be good level. And if you kind of notice now, we've gotten back over those pre-market lows. So all day we've essentially been trading underneath the pre-market level, underneath the overnight session lows. Now we're back into it. Could be a sign that the market's going to continue to grind to the high side. If everyone look at that 1 hour chart, we're getting awfully close to taking out the previous hour highs with room as well. So this combine is up $998. Basically done trading on the day, to be honest. I'm drained already. Again, guys, this business is not that exciting. Very boring. Less trades is always better. Not that exciting. Trying to take out these previous hour highs here. I think this continues to grind into the close, but all right, guys, that's it for me. Stay safe out there, protect yourselves. Again, if you are still trading, size down, lock in the profits, lock in the green, lock in the red. Again, just because you're red doesn't, we don't have to take a $500 red day into a $1,000 red day. So my opinion, I think we continue to kind of grind a little higher with some small pullbacks. That's just my opinion, but my opinion doesn't really matter. With that being said, you know, protect yourself. Again, I'll just kind of read you guys off some support levels. So in case we do kind of pull back a little bit, you guys kind of know what we're looking at. I would be looking at supports. We can get this to blow up. I would be looking at supports of 650 and 630. Okay, 650, 630 would be our supports. Anything below 609, 610, that can come back down to the bottom of the range. And then our resistance, we're looking at 680 to the top side. That's where I can see us continue to float into 680, and anything over 680, 700. Okay, those are our levels to the upside and to the downside. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you guys do want to catch a live stream like this again. If I get over, I think the most likes that I had ever was 120. I think if I get over 120 likes, I will be live streaming again tomorrow. If I do not, you guys will see me back on here whenever I do, but I'll be trading with my guys in the room and on Discord at Evolution Traders. And again, to much success, guys. Pass some evaluations this week. Let's get some payouts this week. Let's keep this gravy train rolling. See you guys all in